Doyle-Price.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Well, this time last year, I was really looking forward to 2020, for the year we'd finally get Brexit done. And everything was looking so positive, but what an appalling year it's been. So it's nice to end it on a bit of a high, not least having passed the bill today, but also the welcome news about the AstraZeneca vaccine, which frankly is transforming the way that we will handle this disease. And I pay tribute to everyone who's been involved in all the missions to find an appropriate vaccine. It has been a triumph. Frankly, I was not confident that we'd ever achieve one, and it's a blessing that we finally have. That said, this will transform our ability to manage this disease, but it's still a long way to go, because the logistical task of vaccinating a critical mass of the population in order to stop the spread of the disease and to save lives is going to take a number of weeks. So we still are looking at restrictions on our behaviour for some time yet, particularly as the government are using these tools really to tackle the transmission. But I do still have very serious concerns about whether these measures are effective, and I say so as the representative for Thurrock. We are at the top of a league that no one wants to be top of. We currently have the highest incidence of COVID cases, 1,411 cases per 100,000 people. And if we look at the over 60s, it's 1,012. Now, we're at that stage, despite at the beginning of lockdown, November lockdown, going into that lockdown in Tier 1. So literally, we came from such a good place. We'd had no deaths since July. The disease was being managed, yet lockdown has seen this mushroom. So what has actually happened? Well, the truth of the matter is that closing down businesses clearly wasn't effective in stopping transmission of the virus, because it grew in our schools. And what happened was that asymptomatic transmission, those school children then taking it home, and from the homes it was going into the workplaces. So we've seen in Thurrock particular workplaces where the disease has just spread. For example, our local Royal Mail depot has had to close because of the extent of infection. And in Grays, where I live, we've not had any postal delivery for 3 weeks. Now, you can imagine, Mr Deputy Speaker, how upset our constituents get at Christmas when they're not receiving their post. And I have to say, I have not been a very popular Member of Parliament when I've asked people to be patient at this time of year. But it does illustrate that, have we really been using the right tools to tackle this virus transmission? Because, to be honest, putting Thurrock with Lakeside Shopping Centre, a major employer, in Tier 4 in the last week before Christmas has frankly done nothing to stop that spread, but it has caused significant economic harm to all those people who work in retail in my constituency. So I really do want to say to the government, please, please, please focus on whether the measures that we are really using to tackle this virus are effective and delivering the outcomes that we want. I have in previous debates on these matters, Mr Deputy Speaker, paid tribute to particular staff involved in delivering our health, most notably pharmacists and paramedics and ambulance workers. But today I just want to thank all those people in our care homes who have given real care, particularly over Christmas, to vulnerable people in the twilight of their lives who are really witnessing severe distress at the inability to spend time with their families. For an elderly person, recognising it's the twilight of their lives, to see their loved ones through plastic screens and their loved ones wearing masks, frankly, it ain't much fun. And it's only made bearable by the real dedication of those who are looking after them, and I really do want to pay tribute to them today. And just one final thing. I come back to this issue about businesses. At the March lockdown, 25% of our independent retailers did not reopen once that was lifted. Now, we know that the retail sector depends heavily on Christmas to sustain the business for the rest of that year. And I have very, very severe fears about what will happen to the retail sector after we emerge from this, because they will have lost that Christmas. They will emerge debt-ridden with no cash flow. What this government has done is hasten the decline of the high street, and I think the economic cost of that will be a very severe one.